turns out right with the sun as bright as it is, the flashes ought to be seen from pretty far out in space.
How is it now?
Finished.
Hello everyone and welcome to the fifth and final week of the Sugar Free League regular season. I'm your color canister Smex tonight with my play-by-play Paulsable, and we're into the pro draft between New England Storm Wolves and Aether Esports.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited for this match. Group B, the Saturday group, is so interesting. Still, anybody can technically make playoffs depending on how the games go. Aether Esports, they're one of our teams that we're going to be showing here on stream tonight. They're going to be facing off against the New England Storm Wolves. There we go. Aether are already secured, but their placement is important still, and the Storm Wolves are still looking to lock in that playoff spot.
And Aether, the only team that is confirmed in the playoffs. They don't have too much to lose here other than potential seeding. Of course, if they do win this match, they are locked into that first seed. So definitely still looking to get the W here. as it also matters for the seeding across groups as well. I believe if they do win this one, then they're locked in to another spot as well. So I'm not entirely certain how that works, so I won't get too into it. But seeing the bans so far, we're getting a lot of tanks dropped down. The Trundle, the Ornn, the Zac, and a few flex picks here as well. Most notably, the Set locked in as a ban for Aether. Does not give the Stormwolves the opportunity to flex that to different positions. So I like that ban here alongside the other tanks.
Well, in the top lane for Stormwolves, I was taking a look at some of the match history. Ornn and Set are two of the most played for Tony Lil there. So pseudo banning him out seems like Stormwolves are just going to change directions. They're not going to worry about their top lane right now. They want to get that bot lane locked in. And interestingly enough, it's the Kai'Sa first pick on the blue side.
Interesting is certainly a word for it here, Paul. Kai'Sa revealing the hand of the Stormwolves very, very early on as this dive-focused short-range team as the main DPS here. The Kai'Sa in the bot lane going to be locked in very first off. So you better hope that this is a comfort pick for their bot laner here because this is a notably weak champion compared to how she was before, and it does need to be piloted very, very efficiently. But the Sejuani is going to be the answer in the jungle here for Aether.
Always a safe pick, the Sejuani. You get that late game scaling. You know, you get some pretty decent ganks early on too, and the Glacial Prison is just nuts. I love the Nautilus pick. Steal that away from the Kai'Sa. That is one of the most common supports we see for Kai'Sa. And now Stormwolves, they don't get a chance at it.
It does provide New England with that the Leona lock-in that they can go for here. It does provide a little bit of dive. It is a relatively alright matchup into the Nautilus as well. It does take it back to a little old school from a few patches ago when those two were the premier supports in the meta right now. But we're going to have to find out what they choose. It is going to be the Alistar, another one of those diver champions that pairs well with the Kai'Sa. Of course, you can get the Headbutt Pulverize and get 2 stacks of those Caustic Wounds right away. So I like that lock-in here. Despite the Kai'Sa picked so early on, it does seem like they do know what pairs well with it so far.
Oh boy, Smacks, we are gearing up for a very intense game one. There's so much engage already for both these teams. Sejuani, Nautilus, Jarvan potentially being locked in. Oh, it's locked. This is already so aggressive for both sides.
Yeah, might as well toss in that Jarvan there, pile on to the backline here. Of course, Aether haven't shown any of their backline quite yet, so they can certainly still provide themselves with not very many vulnerable backliners, I would imagine. Something like the Azir would be really beneficial for them here. Maybe for the bot lane, something like an Ezreal would work quite nicely just to be a little bit more safe, because New England have completely shown their hand, but Aether are going in twofold with the Kled already locked in too. My goodness.
Oh boy. We're just going to be running at each other the entire game. I mean, I expect that from Aether Esports, right? You know, we've seen them on stream a couple times here in the Sugar Free League. And every single time, they fight, they fight, they fight. They overextend sometimes, but they keep fighting regardless. And I'm not surprised it's an aggressive top laner coming in for Aether.
Yeah, and imagine New England are going to want to be banning away these safe backliners like the Azir, but the Jhin is their choice. I feel like they would have wanted the Jhin to come out from Aether. It seems like a pretty easy dive target, but nonetheless, it is going to be taken away from the ban. Something like an Ezreal should, I believe, come out here, as it is one of those safe champions. Maybe something like a Xayah as well could be really beneficial for Caliburn to be playing on the side of Aether, but we've yet to find out here. There are definitely a lot of options for safety. Maybe even something like a Sivir. Of course, you can't really move, but you
hear
get the
me
spell
out.
shield.
Hear me out, Smacks. It's Nautilus mid, Xayah Rakan bot lane for Aether Esports. Let's go. Let's see it. Come on. No, that's probably not going to happen. I love the Nautilus mid, but I don't think we're going to get a Do&B special today. The Misfortune, the next ban for the Stormwolves, so just focusing on the AD carry pool. While Aether, they get rid of the Cass and the Cass, actually. Both Kassadin and Cassiopeia.
That's true.
Both late game scalers. They don't want the mid lane to feel comfortable.
You think it's a miscommunication there? They're like, oh yeah, ban the Cass, ban the Cass, and then they pick the wrong one.
No, wrong Cass, guys.
And now they have to ban both.
That would be That would be pretty funny. I'd love to hear into those comms later on. Maybe we'll get some insight from Aether. But first off, we got to see what Stormwolves are going to answer with the Mordekaiser coming in most likely to the top lane for Tony Lowe.
Yeah, very likely here, of course, the mid laner has yet to be revealed, we think, for New England. It is going to be into the Syndra. Of course, Syndra, a very, very safe blind pick. Really common on R4 if you do have a mid laner that does pick it all the time. You can ban away those champions that she doesn't really like all that much and just go for it here. And it's going to be the Orianna picked into it. Oh, maybe not. It is going to be the Victor, actually. All right, so this is the first champion that I would say is not really committed to going all in for the Wolves here, but he definitely can still pump out the damage.
Well, and there's a lot of tanky frontliners for Stormwolves, right? So Victor doesn't really have to go in. He can kind of just sit behind Mordekaiser, Jarvan, and Alistar and throw in laser beams and chaos storms. The last pick, Aphelios, which is not something I thought I would ever say, comes in for Aether Esports to round out that composition. Surprised we didn't see this earlier in the draft, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, this is quite shocking, honestly. This is not a safe AD at all. And against the likes of the Kai'Sa, Alistar, and the Jarvan, it feels like this champion can be pretty exploited as far as the team fights go. It's going to be on Caliburn to really outplay his opponents, outplay the dive. Although the Stormwolves did draft a few immobile, less focus on the dive champions to round out their comp with the Mordekaiser and Victor. So maybe they just want something that can kill those champions in the late game. But we're going to have to find out here, as the Aphelios was certainly the last pick on both of our minds, I think.
Well, and call me crazy here, Smacks, but I'm looking at both these comps. You're the big brain, so either confirm or deny what I'm thinking. These two comps seem to do relatively similar things, right? They have a lot of engage. They've got some strong backliners. The only difference is actually the Kai'Sa and the Aphelios, right? Where Kai'Sa, a little bit more up close and personal than Aphelios likes to get. But all, like, holistically here, we're going to see a lot of brutal team fights.
I would certainly imagine so here. It's going to be on Aphelios and Kai'Sa to pilot those champions very efficiently, because if they do not, they will be blown up in all of the explosions that are sure to follow with the engages of the Jarvan, of the Kled, of the Sejuani. Every single champion can get in there some way, shape, or form. So it's going to be on these two carry players to really manage to stay alive. But not just them, the Victor and the Syndra as well. Going to be pretty tough to pilot in these fights. They don't have any form of mobility at all on those two champions either. So going to be pretty tough to maneuver these carries. Or maybe the engage tools can be used as a form of peel. We're going to have to find out here, as I believe they're going to be starting up the draft in the client relatively soon, as the mid laner for the Wolves did just arrive. So hopefully that does happen.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
There it is. And while we're going through this, Smacks, I want to ask you, we talked about the team comps, right? The overall compositions. Now I want to zone in on lanes, right? Let's start with the bottom lane, because I think Kai'Sa Alistar is a bit of a funky matchup. And by funky, I just mean we don't see it that much these days when we look to like pro play or, you know, that second tier. So how are you expecting Kai'Sa and Alistar to play into something like the Nautilus Aphelios?
Well, it definitely is going to be tough to trade in these lanes, because you do have to either go all or nothing on the Kai'Sa and the Alistar, because you're relatively short range on these two champions, especially into the Nautilus and Aphelios. So if they do get a gank, I imagine it can be quite deadly with the Jarvan here from uninstall. But in just the 2v2 situation, I feel like they might get bullied out pretty easily by something like the Calibrum from Caliburn. My goodness, those are similar words.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to be pretty careful in this lane. I imagine that the lane bully aspects of the first two guns with Aphelios are going to be pretty big for Aether in that 2v2. But, like I mentioned, the all-in potential is definitely there from the Alistar Kai'Sa. So it might be some explosions, might just play it safe. We're going to have to find out.
Any other lanes that stand out to you in this draft?
Well, I would certainly say that the Mordekaiser Kled matchup is an interesting one, because the Kled can really only attack the Mordekaiser if he does get in, and pretty similar for Mordekaiser as well, very melee champions, with a few ranged skill shots, of course. So We could see some blood up in the top lane. I'm a little bit curious as to where the Sejuani is planning on going here for the early game, or maybe just not going anywhere for the early game and scaling up to level 6 and going for the explosive fights there. But if Sejuani is going to gank anywhere, I think it would be top lane, because the Kled can charge up the E stacks quite effectively in that 2v2, 2v1, whatever it may be. So Mordekaiser is going to have to be pretty careful, especially before level 6.
So Sejuani with a melee solo laner is something you always like to see if you are on that role yourself. Procs that stun so easily there, and Kled is going to be pretty darn good at it. We'll have to see if Bishan and Goob can get it done. Quick note, Goob is actually subbing in as the normal top laner for Aether Esports. Papi Chulo is unavailable today due to, I believe, work reasons. So Goob is going to be in. He's on the Kled. We'll see if he can carry on the mantle of Papi Chulo, who's been a very aggressive top laner. I'll put it nicely.
Oh, yeah.
Say he's aggressive.
Yes, he definitely is aggressive. He can let that get the better of him sometimes, but usually it's for the betterment of his own team when he does. So you can at least give him that
Fair
here.
enough. Absolutely.
For the guy who is out, getting that money. We'll see. but yeah.
Well, we'll see if Goob can get it carried on. If I'm not mistaken,
Right.
Smacks, we're throwing to a break here while we wait for the spectator delay to catch up. So, everybody, make sure you tune in. We're going to have game 1 between Aether Esports and the New England Storm Wolves. I'm messing that up, Smacks. In just 1 minute.
Hello everyone and welcome to Summoner's Rift here for game number 1 between the New England Storm Wolves and Aether Esports. New England on the blue side and Aether on the red. Seems like Vital's taking his sweet time coming out of the base right now, but other than that we're getting a standard 5-point from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not invading, you don't really need to rush down the mid lane there for Vital. And I want to zone in more on this jungle matchup because we kind of danced around the topic. You know, we discussed maybe these guys will do this, maybe they'll do that. I want to ask you about what Uninstall is going to be looking to do in this early game. It seems like he's going to be starting the blue side, right? He's not going to engage right now. There's no way he does that. Just dropping a flag on Bishan's head to show him who's boss, but okay, never mind. He's running down toward his red bot. Is he recalling? Okay, where would you like to see Uninstall go, regardless of whatever buff he starts at?
Well, I'm really looking at, if I'm the Jarvan in this situation, I'm really looking at either counter ganking for top side, because I think that's where Bishan's wanting to go, or making proactive plays in my bot lane, because the all-in threat of the Kai'Sa and the Alistar is really good, and if you can really initiate that for them, then it does become a whole lot better. And we were talking about in the draft as well how the Aphelios is not the most mobile carry either, so that's really where my plan of attack would be here. But you can really get creative with it, because you're against a Sejuani jungle who isn't really going to be super proactive on the map early.
No cute level 2 action from Uninstall though, although Wayne and Handholder are pushing up pretty aggressively themselves, trying to deny some of this XP, some of that farm over to Caliburn. No dice though. Nothing too aggressive coming out thus far.
And a nice bear trap and a rope landing onto Tony Will though. He's gonna finish off a few of those minions, but it does appear as though Goob is losing out on these trades a little bit. Of course, the top lane gets really dicey once these levels start coming in. Exactly that.
Oh, this is a nice engage from Tony Lil. He's gonna have to deal with Goob in this out of mount form though. The shot does not go the right direction. Did not predict the flash, but he's gonna flash back in and grab first blood in the top lane. Gonna have to try and avoid Uninstall. The flag and drag does whiff, but Uninstall does have 1 level. Even despite that, he's gonna die to the minions. And Goob claims 2 kills early in the top lane. Tony Lil's back from the teleport and trying to run down and answer back, but Goob will evade him.
Does get dismounted though. Can he get
Bishan coming on in?
Up? He cannot. But Goob just slaughtering 2 people right there. So that's checking out the minion. Goob just very, very impressive outplay right there.
Ooh, a little bit of action in the bottom lane too, but like you were kind of saying earlier, it's difficult for this bottom lane to trade. So I'm gonna go back up to the top lane. What? Spell it real for me here, Smacks. A 2-0 Kled at 3 minutes. That can't be a good thing, right?
It certainly is not a good thing for the Storm Wolves, I gotta say that. But yeah, Goob really popping off there. You can tell he's feeling himself on this champion. Going in for the flash outplay onto Tony Lil, and then the minions finish off uninstall as well. Very, very impressive stuff. I really like how he got the animation cancel off on his remount, still getting the shotgun shell out. That was really, really impressive. I didn't even know you could do that, so really showing his champion mastery. But uninstall.
Uninstall coming in. His bot lane has made the first rotation up as they have priority. Bishan will flash and dash away to get himself to safety, but flash burned from the jungler. That's always a nice thing to see if you're Stormwolves right now.
Absolutely, and Bishan, like we were talking about before, not on a very proactive champion on the Sejuani, so we're gonna have to just concede that a little bit of. Although he did pick up the Scuttle Crab, so we get a little bit of a nice trade there.
We got both scuttles too, but now we gotta dive into the bot lane. TP coming in from Vital though. He's gonna move and look to clean this up. The stun doesn't quite land onto Wind. He's trying to dash away. Flag and drag back in. Curry's still pretty tanky, even though the aftershock expires. Now we've actually got the TP coming in from Wake, but he's kind of deep right now, and Curry's just gonna flash around him. Nothing's actually gonna be able to happen here for the Stormwolves and uninstall. Oh no, he might have overextended. Or maybe it's Tony Lil. Tony Lil just gets clapped under his own tower. Goob is stomping on this top lane.
And people are trying to get some stomping done in the bot lane with all of these teleports, but no dice there at all. Both mid laners want a piece of the pie, and even uninstall, but all the action in the top lane, Paul. We've got Tony Lil going down in a solo kill under his own tower. Goob just on a rampage on this Kled here, 3-0 in 5 minutes.
And he's got 2 tower plates too. He's up 20 farm right now. This Kled is monstrous. If uninstall doesn't get up there and get something done soon, maybe with Wake's help, look for a 3-man gank on this Kled, honestly. We're gonna start having some problems. Goob's 2 levels up on Tony Lil right now.
Yeah. He just charged down the lane and killed Tony Lil again if he wants to. No Death Realm available at all. We're going to have to find out if he does do so. He does have the Tiamat, so just going to continue pushing in this wave, not even regarding the fact that he could like, wave this guy. I guess there's probably a better word for it, but manage the wave. He doesn't even care about that. Just pushing it in. And,
ooh, he doesn't care about the wave, though. He just wants to kill Tony Lil more. Put him in his place is what Goob is trying to do to Tony Lil at this moment. And keep in mind, you brought up the Tiamat. And reminder, this is a Kled, right? So his ult lets him roam as much as he likes. He can just push in this wave, even if he doesn't kill Tony Lil under his own tower anymore, or anywhere else for that matter. He can push in the wave, roam wherever he likes. Push in the wave, roam wherever he likes. There's no threat right now on Goob at all.
Absolutely not. You can definitely go to the mid lane, but speaking of threat on Goob, there's a victor here.
The pull does land onto Goob. He's pretty close to his tower, though, so not ideally timed right there from Tony Lil. So nothing's really going to happen for the Stormwolves. They looked for it, but no dice.
Yeah, no reliable crowd control there onto Goob, especially because he does have those dashes available. As Wake really does need the enemy to stay in one spot for a long time to land his own stuns.
Oh no. Oh no, Tony Lil, he doesn't have Death Realm yet. He tries to heal himself with the shield, but there's the charge under the turret. No minions needed. Goob goes on a rampage, and meanwhile on the bot lane, Stormwolves are trying to make anything happen. Curry is charged towards Wind, who is able to get a good amount of damage down, but it's still a trade in favor of Aether Esports. Uninstall. He's going to go in pretty aggressively here. Flashes away once he sees where he's at in the middle of 3 members of the enemy team. Everything going wrong for Stormwolves right now.
Vital and Bishan trying to get something done in that exchange, but uninstall. Nice flash to get over that wall. It does make it out alive, although he may have just conceded all pressure on this Drake objective. 8 minutes in, this is going to be the Ocean Drake started up by Aether. And yeah, I don't think uninstall really has any business going into this pit at all, especially once that ward does die. Like, this Drake going over to Bishan.
I would be both impressed and revolted if uninstall tried to go for that skill right there. I'm very glad that we did not see that happen, but regardless, right? It's a 2K gold lead at 8.5 minutes for Aether Esports. This early game is so heavily favoring them right now, and so much of their lead is on Kled, who is going to be so scary so soon. He's already almost got that black cleat.
And it's not even Goob either. We're seeing the power play on the Drake. There's the exhaust.
Exhaust does land onto Caliburn, but he'll get away underneath his tower. And now Handholder is going to actually get dragged back into the mini turret range, not the actual tower. So still a trade that honestly, well, I was going to say favors Aether Esports, but with the re-engage here, I'm not sure that's going to be accurate. The Midnight Vigil goes forward though, and Handholder is going to be the first one taken down. It's a trade onto the supports, and both AD carries are just going to walk away from each other.
Caliburn a little bit apprehensive there. I feel like he could have gone forward with Curry, but really not liking his chances in that exchange. He's gonna play it really, really safe. Maybe think something different now.
Wind is taking a lot of damage. He's very far forward, but he actually gets the kill on a Caliburn, who misjudges his damage just a tiny bit. Still not worth the same amount as first turret is, though. That easily gets claimed by the Rift Herald. Bishan and Goob up into the top lane, and that gold lead has extended to 3,000 now. Wake's gonna be a little bit careful. He does actually land the stun onto Vital, but doesn't want to get hit by this dredge line or the scatter of the week from Vital. Vital takes a very unhealthy chunk of damage, but Bishan's here. It's gonna be a 2v3. Desperately uninstall, tries to go in, but he doesn't have the flash to land onto Vital. Here comes a teleport to try and turn this around, but Groove is already there on the backside. Cataclysm to catch Curry, but there's nobody of value stuck in the walls. That being said, Tony Little's on the backside. He is able to get one, but he used the Death Realm for it, and even the bonus stats aren't going to be enough to keep him alive. Groove is going to claim that kill rather easily, and look to Snowball. He gets the second one, looking for the third. He's a monster. Finally, he's dismounted and will have to head for the hills. Wind is actually here. He flashes on forward, trying to get the shutdown onto the Kled. These teams are insane.
I thought he was gonna live that. Oh!
Curry, what are you doing? You didn't have the health for that. Why are you walking forward there?
I don't know what just happened, but we're stuck. we're left with the same exact gold lead that we had before, so I don't even know if any of that mattered.
Hey, no, it's back down to 2,000. All right. Yeah. Put some respect on the Storm Wolves. They took 1K off the gold lead at the very least.
Oh, they got a shutdown on the Goob as well. Of course, he has another bounty to deal with now. But the 7-kill Kled now has 1 death, so his KDA is no longer flawless. That is definitely something that the Storm Wolves can rest on.
Shameful. Didn't go the game without dying.
If you don't as Kled, then I feel like you might be doing something wrong, honestly. Champion is rather do or die, and sometimes you gotta die a little bit to get in there with the kills. So, I'm sure he's all right with his scoreline so far in this game.
He still traded 3 for 1.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Goob was very much not the problem in that fight for Aether Esports. If anything, it still would have been very favorable. I mean, it was pretty favorable for them in general, but even more so if Curry hadn't tried to step forward and get his AD carry those kills. But we're back. We can breathe a little bit, and I mean, by we, I mean I can breathe a little bit, but maybe not too long, as Uninstall's roaming down toward the bot lane, maybe looking to set up a lane gank. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we got yet another trade. Caught in the storm once again. Bishan will be able to dodge that glacial prison, but takes a lot of damage from the unleashed power. Bishan trying to run down Wake, who's just desperately juking and jiving. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Caliburn is just done for, so it's a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
Here comes the Kled.
No, Goob. It's a 1v3. There's no way you should win this, but he's already nearly taken out Uninstall. Handholder is the only one keeping Goob at bay right now. He's just going to run the opposite direction of the rest of his team to buy some time. Tonilo's here too, but Uninstall is just so low. He gets spot on the ward, flag, and drags into a hook. So he'll go down, and Tony Lowe's not doing too much better. Meanwhile, Vital's just on a mission to get executed. He'll at least get that amount done. Tony Little nearly getting this kill onto Bishan, but Bishan dodges away, and Goob is here to clean up. So still very much an Aether Esports favorite game.
know, this may turn out to be in poor taste, but Goop kind of reminds me of Anakin Skywalker right now, out here slaughtering kids.
Well, if that's the case, then let me ask you, as we hit a very early mid-game, but a mid-game nonetheless, I feel, what is the high ground that Stormwolves should be looking for to take out this Kled, right? I mean, he's 10-1. This is ridiculous right now. He's got nearly 100% kill participation. You're gonna answer that question after this trade. Caliburn is not having a fun time right now. He's gonna have to flash and heal to survive there, but Wind will be able to just walk away. Now Uninstall is down here, and if he can land this flag and drag, there's gonna be at least one kill. He's not even gonna need it. Just walks up to Curry as the charge from Handholder will secure that kill, and Wind will be the one to put it on the board.
Man, these bot lane 2v2s are really, really dicey, but Uninstall making sure that it's not just a 2v2, kind of a cheater move, honestly. The honor of the bot lane 2v2.
It's definitely cheater to bring in your jungler to do what he's supposed to do, Smash.
Absolutely, yeah. But we're mentioning high ground onto Goob here. I would say that the main thing for Stormwolves to keep in mind is that they have a lot of their gold distributed onto multiple carries here. So with that, you've got this Kai'Sa and the Victor who are scaling up to be rather threatening on the enemy's team here. So they can really use this as kind of a point of solace against this Kled. Because if you kill the Kled and your Victor and Kai'Sa are still kicking, then that's going to be pretty big here for New England. So we're going to have to see if they can manage to do so against Aether and make sure they drop down this Kled a peg. But they've only been able to do it once so far. He's up to 10-1 now.
You also said if they kill the Kled, which, to be honest, I don't know how likely that is when earlier on full health he charged into a 1v3 and was barely feeling anything, especially when stuff like that happens. Wake OG, he's just gonna get deleted. Nothing you can do about that if you're Wake, except maybe flash a bit earlier, but once you get hit by all that CC, it gets chained onto you. You're done as Victor.
Yeah, all those orbs dropping down as well. No magic resistance at all. Still trying to build up the Hex Core, which he has done so far. He does have perfect Hex Core.
Okay, Uninstall is going forward very aggressively. Wind will be here to join him though, and that's the kill. Traded onto the enemy mid laner, so one good gank deserves another. And some 2v1s up in the mid lane as we look at this second Rift Herald. Wake is going to be walking back toward this fight, but the Rift Herald's already been secured. Now it's just a question of can they kill Goop. He is going to be able to get away. I was going to say dismounted, but he just walks out. Beautiful W there from Wind to actually dismount Goop, but somebody's still got to kill this man, and he's just waddling away. While Tony Little takes a very interesting fight in the mid lane. Death Realm's onto Curry and isn't able to do much with it.
There's a flash Death Realm as well. Didn't even deal more than 300 damage to Curry. Not particularly strong is this Mordekaiser. His only ability power is a single amplifying tome. Curry now flashing away.
It's not ideal. That's certainly not ideal there. Oh, wait. Counting his lucky stars. Handholder's going to go in and try to get the trade onto Curry, who didn't proc that aftershock. The depth charge goes forward, but Curry goes golden in a very disadvantageous spot, and Wind is able to go forward and get the Q to secure the kill.
Yeah, Curry a little bit indecisive on what he wanted to do in that fight. Flashing out, hooking back in, stopwatching in as well. Just trying to find something to do with his team as Goop was not there, trying to make it at least a little bit favorable, but could not find it in the end. Of course, Aether do have 2 Drakes to 0, so they can still be a little bit happy. Also have this Kled.
Kled will get stunned though. Wake is going to be able to walk away from that one, and Goop, you know, he's powerful. But even he's not going to take a 2v1 underneath the turret right now. Although, realistically, he might be able to. He's not going to. That's what matters.
Here comes this Drake. I imagine this is going to be the big boy fight. Tony Little, of course, does have his teleport, so even he can make an appearance. But Wake is nowhere to be seen. He's in the base, no teleport. So this could just be a favorable fight here for Aether. Of course, the Drake is spawning in 20 seconds, so the Victor does have a lot of time to get over here. But the Vision War is so far won pretty decisively by Aether.
Okay, but looking at this, it is going to be Soul Point. And Curry, this ward spots out, uninstalled the dredge line. There we go. I was going to say the depth chart. That's the wrong one. Goes forward, uninstalled Cataclysms into a flash. Has to go golden to delay his death, but it's not going to delay it for very long. And Tony Little's on the wrong side of this fight. Everything going right for Aether Esports as they just front to back walk down 4 members of the Storm Wolves. Handholder's the last one left under the tower, and the aggro is juggled beautifully. Caliburn's even gonna live with a sliver of his health, and Aether Esports stay in the driver's seat.
And Wake OG's just like, well, I guess we are not winning this fight. I'm gonna go try to get some mid-turret pressure down. Does take the entire thing, but I think Aether are going to be pretty happy getting 4 kills for 1 turret here, and maybe even the Drake as well. Starting it up now is Bishan. Here's a Rift Herald taking down a little bit of damage onto the bot lane inhibitor turret too, after dropping the inner turret there. Aether still securely in the gold lead with 5,500. This is going to put them at Soul Point as well. I don't imagine Uninstall can get to this Drake in time. There's the smite here for Bishan. And yeah, this is going to be even more damage for Goob and crew.
Okay. But now, let me ask you a question. I pray we have time, but these teams have been fighting so much. What does the scaling look like for both these teams? Is there a late game hope here for Storm Wolves? Is the Kaisa going to scale up enough to deal with the Syndra, the Aphelios, and the Kled?
There certainly is a possibility, but I have bad news for you, Paul. We're only 20 minutes in. There's the flash for Caliber.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So much action. There's been 27 kills in 20 minutes.
Guys, can you let us set up just a little bit of story? I don't need a lot, right? But let me just I need some time for my lungs to reset after these fights, guys.
And we're talking about scaling, but Wind doesn't even have his full mana immune yet. Or Mura mana, excuse me. He does have the mana immune.
He has the mana moon.
Yeah,
at the very least he has that.
Oh, Curry. He's thinking about it.
Curry has been the quote-unquote weak link here for Aether Esports. I mean, he's still got 7 assists, so you're not really mad at your support right now. If you're Aether Esports, you're not calling him a feeder, right? It's not his job to get the kills, although he has died more than twice as much as anyone else on his team.
Yeah, your kill participation is going to look a little bit wonky if you do have this Kled who's just rampaging by himself the whole game on your team. So, you know, in the team fights, he's still been able to participate quite a bit. And
oh, the Glacial Prison barely doesn't fully connect onto Wind there. TP into the top lane as Bishan charges forward, still trying to take this fight. Will land on a Handholder to get that slow, and the stun comes out not too long after. Handholder will go down, but the rest of Storm Wolves will get away.
There was a couple big ultimates used onto just the Alistar, though. So I understand the Aether were looking for some Baron pressure there, but only did kill the Alistar. They might be able to get it anyway just because they are so strong, but it's not the biggest thing that they could have gotten there, so there's still hope for a re-engage for Storm Wolves to see if they can.
Well, speaking of re-engage, Goob just charges on Awake, forces the flash, and gets the mid laner out of the fight. He's got to take this 1v1 with Tony Little, but he's won it so many times already. It's turned into a 1v3, though, that he has to flash away from. He does manage to get over the wall, but Handholder throws it right back on in. Tony Little's still going to go down, so it is a 1-for-1. And Wake is still removed from this fight, so 3v4 in the fight overall. The dredge line lands beautifully, max range onto Wind, and shuts down the 80 carry of Storm Wolves. That's the opening Aether Esports needed to take this Baron.
And it started pretty well for New England there. They got Goob off the Baron, and then they killed him even. And they even got the rest of the team off the Baron. Oh, Vital.
Vital in a bit of trouble. He's able to flash away, though, and now Wake is in so much more trouble as the rest of Aether collapses onto him. At the very least, though, Storm Wolves, they delay the Baron. They get themselves some more time to come back into this.
Yeah, they do it twice there, so that is at least something here for the Wolves. They did stop the Baron yet again, trying to delay Aether's power spike with that buff. Of course, they are still feeding these kills into their opponents, so not the most ideal, but do delay the big purple minions for a little while longer. They can keep their wave clear scaling up. They do get another item onto Wake OG. Granted, it is more about the single target burst with the Lich Bane, but it does provide him with a little bit more damage to kill those minions a lot quicker. And notably, the mid turrets are all still in line for the Wolves, so they don't have to worry about their inner structures too much in that lane. Usually the biggest point of attack once the Baron does fall into place. But they do still have to care about the bot lane, and if Goobs decides that he wants to start side laning on this Kled, they might be in for a world of hurt in that bot lane.
I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't already. Nobody can answer him right now in a side lane, but oh no, Wind. Wind, he doesn't know, is coming up behind him. Vital throwing in everything to shut down that 80 carry. And the Drake's coming up in 30 seconds. That's going to be Infernal Soul in theory for Aether, and they're not really going to have their 80 carry to help them contest that objective.
Arguably an even better buff to use than the Baron, the Infernal Drake Soul coming on down. Not getting hit by the Death Grasp either. There's the plant used, and again the Vision War is won by Aether. They don't even have their mid laner around. Vital is pushing in some waves in the top lane, just waiting for this Drake to spawn. This is a really nice spot to be in if you are Aether, and he does have ultimate as well, so they can even turn off.
They got a control ward of the wall. They'll know if anyone tries to come forward and contest this dragon. Wake just trying to trade this for pressure on the top side of the map. He will be able to take down Vital, but the Infernal still goes to Aether Esports. So now we're looking at a 6k gold lead. We're looking at Infernal Soul, and they are going to be able to start setting up for this Baron as soon as they get this mid tower. That being said, Uninstall not wanting to let them. There's the interesting Death Realm onto Bishan. He's not able to get that kill, but at the very least, he delays where Bishan can get back to his team. Bishan, ever so low, will not be able to get away. He's going to get shut down as Uninstall charges forward. Stormwell's looking to turn this around. The Death Traps nicks Caliburn, and Wind flashes away from the Dredge line. That being said, Goop still charges onto him, and he's looking to take the 1v4. Nearly gets uninstalled, but won't quite be able to do so, but he's sustaining so well. He's back on his mountain. Handholders down. Aether Esports are turning this around. Tony Little is going to be eliminated shortly after Wake because Aether Esports aren't going to try and let him get away.
Goop staying alive in that entire fight is absolutely ridiculous. Bishan does manage to die in that fight. That Death Realm, he does take it quite low. And then the Alistar setup by Handholder was quite nice, headbutting him back into the enemy team. Bishan does go down, but the Infernal Drake Soul is so powerful, and Vital's death timer was short enough where he teleported back into the fight and blew Wake up to smithereens. That fight's still won by Aether. It's still looking rather hopeless in this game for the Wolves until they're going to have HP. That's 200 years for you.
Moly.
Doing it again.
Has been nerfed so many times, and he is still a very dumb champion to play.
Look at those health bars.
Look at Wind and Uninstall right now. They didn't get anywhere near him.
Wow.
No dice there for the Death Grasp, despite the Proto Belt being committed. And Stormwolves are just bleeding out at this point. This is 7k gold lead. Baron's getting started. I don't know if there's a world where Stormwolves can comfortably contest this.
Caliburn does still have his turrets available as well, although he's converting them. He doesn't even need them here. He's just going to go for the Baron damage. That's going to be burning down, quite literally, with the Infernal Soul here. That's the Infernal Soul and the Baron buff. It feels like this might be the end of the game here. Aether going to be looking to take down the first one.
I can't imagine that Aether Esports should let this go past 30 minutes at this point, right?
Right.
They have a monumental gold lead, and you kind of, if you're Stormwolves, you're starting to play in the next draft. You're starting to play in the next game, I have to imagine. Technically, they could still be in it. Some of these fights have felt closer than they should have, realistically speaking. And the Kaisa of Wind is now at that 3-item point, actually ahead of where Caliburn is right now, who actually picked up a QSS instead of going for that 3rd damage item. So Wind has been pretty good this game thus far, caught out a couple times, but he's been a playmaker at the very least. But man, oh man, has he got a monumental task ahead of him for this. What you have to assume is this last team fight.
And if your team is first picking Kaisa on blue side, you gotta expect that your AD is gonna be good at the champion, and he definitely has been, like you mentioned, out CSing and more gold than Caliburn. Of course, Caliburn does have that QSS to make sure he stays out of that death room as long as possible. Tony Lil may not be the strongest Mordekaiser in this game, but he certainly can keep you out of a fight for 7 seconds, which could be enough to win the Stormwolves a fight. Although they are on their last leg here, Paul. There's a lot of Baron minions coming in.
I do like the itemization from Tony Lil. He's like, I'm not going to build damage at this point. Give me his Zonias. I'm just going to try and distract them as long as I can. But it's still a rough spot. The siege is coming through. We got already 2 buffed up cannon minions who are just going to be pelting at that tower as both sides look to be engaged. And meanwhile, there's no chance Tony Lil can actually side lane effectively 1v1 versus Goob.
Feels like an all-out engage waiting to happen right here. With all the tools available for Aether. Maybe this is going to be the first Glacial Prison landed by Vishan this game. We'll have to see.
Maybe. He's still got a little bit of time, but it seems like Aether Esports, they're not going to aggressively try to end this game. They're going to back up, do it tutorial style. They're going through the top lane now as they let Goob pressure out in the bot lane. They're not too worried about their Kled. He's 3 items. He's got a QSS. He's going to be able to, at the very least, buy some time for the rest of Aether Esports to get other things done, like taking towers and taking inhibitors.
They got this Baron. They're going to get their full value out of it, or they're going to get a refund. They're going for all 3 inhibitors here as 4 members up in that top lane with a methodical base construction. It does reach 30 minutes, though, so they're not speedrunning it.
Uninstall does get hit, gets dived onto entirely, and Goob walks up, runs up from the bottom lane. Handholder desperately trying to go forward and clean up that kill onto Vital, but he will not be allowed even so much as that when going forward, but Goob will just slap him back into the spawn. And Tony Lil's not going to get anything done. Aether Esports with the dominant first game in their very last group stage match. They're going to be able to easily grab this kill onto Wake. Both Nexus turrets are now what they have their sights set on. And they're going to go up 1 game in this best of 3 versus the New England Stormwolves.
Yeah, just a really clean performance here by Aether. Specifically Goob, though, just absolutely popping up, not making it close whatsoever on this Kled. And yeah, just ending the game 14-2-9. He's the reason why everyone else's kill participation is a little bit lacking, and he is proving his worth as a sub in this final best of 3 for Aether in the regular season. Very, very impressive stuff. Very excited to see how the Stormwolves are going to be able to stop this guy in the draft for the next few games, or just
We're definitely not going to see Kled again this series, Smacks. I think that was a one-time pick for tonight. We'll see if New England Stormwolves actually do ban out the Kled. Oh, I pray they ban out the Kled. And manage to turn game 2 around if they want to really keep themselves in the run for playoffs. They're still sitting at 2-2 and could get past entirely. But first, before game 2, we're going to head to a quick break. We'll be right back with the Sugar Free League.
Who accept herb? Herb is not, herb is important, but herb is more important to the people who don't accept it yet, because that is a reality. Herbs are good for everything.
Hello, everyone. We are back with the draft for game number 2 between Aether and New England Storm Wolves. Storm Wolves just taking a bit of a beating in the previous one by the Kled of Aether, but you're not gonna ban it first anyway. It is gonna be the Lee Sin first up on the bans.
Yeah, and Smacks, let's not pretend. It was not a particularly close game. There's the Kled ban coming in from the Storm Wolves. Unsurprising whatsoever. Maybe a set ban last pick. Yep, there we go. So not too different here for Aether Esports. They're just going to ban the Olaf instead of the Zac now that they're on the blue side.
And it is going to be the Thresh hovered for the final ban here. Does leave Goob's other signature champion in the Darius available, so we're going to have to see if Aether does lock that one in rather early. I would be surprised if they locked it in first, but I've seen stranger things. Maybe like the Kaisa first pick.
I don't know if Kaisa's stranger than a Darius first pick.
Maybe not. They're both relatively strange, though, as the Trundle does get locked in here for Aether. Yeah, that certainly is. Very strong jungler in the meta right now. We're seeing a lot of teams put that as their first pick on blue side here, and Aether's no different.
Sure, he's got great ganks. He scales pretty well. He chunks out a lot of these tanks that we're seeing in the metas right now, so pretty good all around realistically. Echo! First pick for the Storm Wolves. Echo, not a bad pick, but an interesting first one.
Yeah, it definitely is. And the Maokai here as well. Oh, I got bad news for you guys, Storm Wolves. If you lock that one in, there will be a Darius at your front door. I don't know if you're quite ready for this. If you lock that one in for the top lane.
Okay, do you feel like that's a problem though? Darius and the Maokai, is that such a dominant matchup?
Oh yeah. Maokai is one of the strongest champions in the entire top lane meta right now. However, if you early pick him and the enemy can play a mean Darius, it's not pretty. You will not get to scale up and be that team fight menace. And there it is. You can't blind pick a Maokai into this Darius unless you send it support.
Hear me out though. Hear me out. It's all a bait. Maokai's going support.
Yeah. That could genuinely be their strategy here, although it just giving Goob a reason to pick his Darius, to me, is not a very good idea here. And we're going to have to find out if Goob just pops off in this game as well, as he does get his signature pick there, alongside the Kled being banned away, and the Ashe locked in for the support role for Caliburn, leaving the support until, or the supportive AD role, excuse me. He's going to be playing that as the AD, of course. They are leaving their support pick for later for Curry.
Interesting that he would pick the Ashe so early, too, considering that things like the Aphelios that Caliburn loves to play is still open and available. Maybe hints at what their composition is looking to do overall, but that's only theory crafting for the moment. Ezreal will be the answer, so a very safe bot laner this time for Wind on the Storm Wolves.
Significantly less dive from both teams so far in the early parts of the draft here. No Kled, no Sejuani, no Jarvan, no Alistar. We're peeling back today in this second game. Could be the final game. Of course, Aether are at match point, but Storm Wolves are really wanting to make sure that does not happen. Leona going to be banned away here. No synergy with the Ashe and the Yuumi as well. It looks like we're going to be attacking the support pool in this Phase 2 bans.
I mean, neither team has a support locked in right now, in theory.
Yeah,
although
maybe
in some leagues we've seen some Trundle supports, we've seen some Maokai supports. So I'm not gonna go too far out on a limb here, but it seems like both these teams are fairly confident that the supports have not been chosen. It will be the Kassadin once again banned by Aether Esports. Now, last time they banned the Cassiopeia and the Kassadin. This time Cassiopeia is up. Means they maybe feel that Echo is going into the mid lane, but not so confident that he's going into the mid lane that they leave open the Kassadin.
I do like that they being the Storm Wolves, have this option here with the Echo now. They have it as a flex pick. They can put it in mid. They can put it jungle. And Aether really don't know what to do. So they can't very easily lock in the Syndra blind here. Would potentially be leaving themselves up to that counter matchup. So I really like that they have this here. And the Galio's going to be locked in for the mid lane in Aether. Or it could be at the support role. Very nice one.
It certainly could.
Yeah.
I feel like we're about to find out, though. Because
Yeah.
Aether Esports, they got one more pick. They got 15 seconds left to go. So the question I have for you, Smax, is what would you like to see from the Stormwolves as their last pick, assuming it's either the mid laner or the jungle? It's going to be the Corki mid lane, so Galio support most likely. What are we looking for in the mid lane here for Stormwolves?
I feel like this is a not bad matchup for Echo. I think you can lock in a physical damage threat in the jungle, maybe something that can farm up pretty well, because it doesn't feel like Aether are going to be that focused on the early game here. Looks like they're thinking about the Azir. My suggestion would have been something along the lines of a Hecarim, something that can farm up really nicely, but it is going to be the Syndra. So the Echo is in the jungle. Definitely a farming jungler, so they've got that on lock here, but Syndra going to be the preferred matchup into the Corki here for the Stormwolves.
Now, as someone who likes early game action, I'm wiping my brow, thankful that we don't see the Corki into Azir, the typical matchup, the scaling matchup. Honestly, not that interesting matchup. But talk to me about Corki Syndra, because this is less common of a matchup. Most people usually just handshake the trade. Stormwolves, are they instead going to look to play aggressive in the mid lane?
Well, you would think that they would because they have this Syndra, but the jungler tells a different story here. They've got the Echo. So I'm a little bit concerned on that front. The Echo does not have very powerful early ganks at all. And on top of that, they have the Ezreal and the Nautilus, which is a lane that you can coast on. You have the Maokai, which desperately does not want to fight the Darius at any time. So I feel like this is a game where if you're Stormwolves, you want the game to take as long as possible here and go for an early Rift Herald swap with the Ezreal and the Nautilus to get the Maokai out of that lane into the bot lane and try to get some pressure there, because the top lane is going to be bleeding out literally with the hemorrhage stacks on the Darius if they let it.
So then talk to me about what Aether Esports are looking to do, because this comp is not what I would call standard when we see a Galio support and a Darius in the top lane, as well as the Ashe AD carry. So what's their game plan going to be?
Well, they have that pressure matchup in the top lane, of course. They've got the Darius and the Maokai. I'll put that to rest now. we're all on the same page with this, I think. The Ashe and the Galio, though, they actually do have some amount of kill threat. Galio just has so much crowd control in the bot lane here, especially because you do max the Shield of Duran, the taunt. So it's going to be pretty easy for them to get in, especially on this Nautilus, especially if Galio can get in front of the dredge line and make sure the Nautilus can't get out. But even if Nautilus does go in with the Ezreal doesn't have amazing damage early on, and the Nautilus is going to then put himself in the threat range of all that crowd control. So I feel like Aether have that advantage in this bot lane with the Ashe and the Galio. Pretty nice laners here. So I imagine that they're going to have a pretty good time in this bot lane, alongside just having a jungler that can more easily access ganks in the Trundle rather than the Echo. So I feel like wherever the Trundle goes, we're going to be seeing a bit of an Aether-favored party.
All right, so keep our eyes once again on Bishan. Had a pretty decent game one, although, it was overshadowed a bit by Goob. We'll see if Goob, in a matchup that he definitely should be winning, can have the same kind of impact. I don't know if we're going to see 4 kills before 5 minutes again, but
we might.
Still, Goob should be winning this out. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, it's a different story than last time, where Aether are taking it. So we're all eyes for the Stormwolves are on Wake, and potentially Uber, who has subbed into the mid lane here for Stormwolves. Can they make these plays happen? We're going to find out after a quick break. When we come back, game 2 between Aether Esports and the Stormwolves.
Hello and welcome to game number 2 here between Aether Esports and New England Storm Wolves. You're back on the Rifts, and Storm Wolves going to be looking to tie this series up with their first win. Got a 5-stack, maybe going through some kind of early shenanigans. Of course, Vital not at his post. He's been waiting in the fountain yet again. This could have been spotted out. Maybe gonna get punished.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Well, this time around, Stormwolves are going for an aggressive early invade. Not going to commit to it, though. They're just going to back on up, except the fact they got 2 good vision wards down. They're going to know Raptors. They're going to know red buff, assuming that Bichon doesn't just back and clear those out with a sweeping lens, which, honestly, very well could.
Yeah. And it is going to be the CS advantage for Handholder. So that's
he's got that one ward farm.
Yeah, the nice
all right,
gold
let's
lead.
get it.
He's doing it. Yeah, rather insignificant, of course. Just gonna get that early ward, and it is gonna be Uber allies or allies, I guess, starting on this blue buff. Goob and Toey Lil, very, very quaint right now, just sitting in their respective brushes. What is gonna swap out?
Actually getting kind of aggressive here. They're going for the invade on the red buff. Tony Lil will spot this out, so the information is there at the very least. It's actually taking a long time to try and contest this. Definitely not going to get that steal away from Bichon, though.
Bichon even gets the ward as well. But yeah, Tony Lil might miss some solo experience here, of course, against the Ghost of Goob. might be a little bit tough here in this matchup. Of course, it already was going to be rather tough, but getting down in experience and gold is going to make it even tougher, as he, of course, is this Maokai. He does have the Doran shield, so trying to keep himself rather safe. We saw the last game,
yeah, I think as long as Tony Lil avoids dying 3 times before 5 minutes, I think you can call that a win, right? Yeah. You don't expect the Maokai to win pretty much any lane, right? Much less into the Darius, so just farm up, keep yourself alive, get as much CS as you can, but whatever you do, don't die to plays like this. It's actually winning out this trade right now against Goob, thanks to the minion damage, extra off the bushes. A lot of minion damage going just onto Goob from the lane minions too there, so nice trade for Tony Lil.
Getting worse for wear in this lane right now, and not respecting the sapling damage, walking into the bush. Of course, Tony Lil is now completely out of mana, and Goob did have a pot taken, so maybe it is favoring Goob in the long run, but right there, it definitely feels like he lost that trade pretty hard.
Ooh, he's gonna pull Tony Lil back in with the apprehend, and Tony Lil actually commits to this. Bichon's right there, though. There's the pillar to force the flash. Bichon going forward. Is the bleed enough? It is, and there's yet another early first blood onto Goob.
Oh, man. You hate to see it from Tony Lil, but also just a really nice gank timer here for Bichon. Flashing forward, gets the chomp down, and Tony Lil not able to escape. Of course, he does use the Twisted Advance to dodge out of the heal stack from Goob, not wanting to get cleaved with that Q, but it is going to be to his detriment. Does get knocked up by that pillar, and it's going to be another first blood on Goob. Of course, he doesn't even have the teleport, so he's going to walk back to base.
And really going for an aggressive trade. He's going to get hit by that taunt, though, and now Curry is in. And Uber in a lot of trouble. Going to have to flash away. Here comes a gank from Uber LA. A flash from Curry will deny the stun. That's flash for flash onto support, and also ignite and heal used by Aether Esports.
It's going to be a lot of defensive summoner spells dropped by Aether. Really nice gank, but no lethal mark to salvage that of the top lane here. Uber just popping in to say hello with his parallel convergence. Not quite finding that kill, but it is going to be a Curry and Caliburn taken rather low and forced to maybe just go in again.
Wind is going to be able to get away with the arcane shift, but Handholder's not going to be so lucky. Oh, he has the shield, and Curry goes down first. Wind cleans it up, gets the double kill, but meanwhile in the top lane, it's still a trade in favor of Goob. So it's 2 for 2 across the map.
Yeah, the pseudo 2v2, as it were, in the bot lane is completely won by Wolves.
By a little bit of trouble, gets caught by the parallel convergence stun, has to flash out and doesn't even escape with his life. Uses his flash there, and he still dies.
Yeah, despite Uber with the really nice gank in the bot lane, this is his first time getting on the board with the assist, but his ganks have been very, very nice in this early game, I gotta say. Even getting the flash out of Idle before dropping him low. And that's another kill on the board here for the Wolves. It is 3-3. Despite the gold in favor of Aether, Wolves have definitely come to play in this game too.
Well, a lot of that gold right now is in the top lane farm, right? You gotta look. It's still a 17 CS lead, and Trundle, the Bichon right now, is also farming much faster than the Echo is. So it's not nearly as troublesome as it was before, but still not going well necessarily for Stormwolves. Gonna try and turn it around right now. Wind just baiting Aether Esports bot lane into this engage, but Uber LA is gone. Wind can't actually step forward to take this fight fully. It's basically on Handholder to just walk down Caliburn, but Wind is gonna step an inch too far forward and lose his own life. Handholder getting taunted. I doubt he gets away, and no, the rocket will finish him off as Aether Esports maintain their lead.
And what looked like a really nice gank path from Uber yet again is completely thwarted by a really nice shielded Rand by Curry, making sure that they stay alive long enough to pump out that damage and knock Uber down where he stands. That's the power of the Galio if you are getting engaged upon. Very nicely done there, and they are going to clean up all of those kills right there. Aether pulling ahead yet again. Here comes Bichon.
Oh, the pillar is going to slow him down. Early flash for Wake, and he will get the scout of the week. Parallel convergence lands onto Bishan as we're actually getting a roam down from the top lane too. Aether Esports don't want to take that 2v3, and they'll back out.
Let's trade a subjugate for flash right there. Definitely in favor of Bishan. He's going to be Wake flashless now, perhaps defenseless. Vital is just going to be farming up his Cull and his Tier. The new hotness for the Corki build, as people have been building this now. Man immune rush on the Corki does provide him with a lot of single target damage, and it's cheaper than the previous Corki build as well with the Infinity Edge and the Triforce rush. So I imagine that does come into play as well. But Vital gonna be taking that one here.
And you could look for a repeat gank into the mid lane too. Wake has to play a lot more defensively now and can't look for these aggressive trades, these aggressive ganks as easily as he would have liked to. That being said, he still gets the preferable back here versus Vital. Crashes that wave into the tower and is going to be able to reset full.
And there's his there are his pieces of Lude's Echo as well. Not going to be going for the GLP on the Syndra this time, as Vital did in the previous game. Is going to provide him with a lot less security on the kills, but more burst. So it's definitely a trade-off that he thinks is worth it here. So it's a lot of hemorrhage stacks down. That's going to be Tony Lil taking about 150 damage. Whoa, the flash!
Coop just ran forward under the tower. The ultimate will come out from Tony Lil to dissuade him. Even if he walked forward and got that kill, there's no way he would have survived against the tower stacks. He doesn't have the dunk anymore, and Tony Lil knows that. He's going to go forward and try to trade aggressively. Goop's got to be a little bit careful here. He's on a sliver of HP as he walks away.
Goop definitely feeling himself in this 1v1. Of course, how could he not? He, after this game and the previous, been completely one-sided as Curry punches the wall. And he's gonna go back there, not with the kill that he was looking for, but with a bunch of gold in his pockets. He does get a phage, some boots, and even a ruby crystal.
Wake got spotted on a control ward and didn't even know it. There's the charge into the taunt, into Vital, jumping in. Bishan finishes off that kill and flashes forward to look for more. Handholder caught, slowed up by the volley from Ash. And even with his own flash, he's not going to be able to get out of dodge. Bishan walks away, and that's 2 for 1, easily taken by Aether Esports.
And Wake OG trying to make a play happen in that river, trying to roam on down, but caught in the crosshairs of Bishan and Vital with the package as well. All right, he's got the man immune as well. Vital scaling up very nicely, and then taking part in that kill as well to boot. Gonna feel really good on this Corki. And what also feels good is another successful gank from Bishan. Not going to net them the early Drake that they had in the previous game, as it is going to take 10 minutes. Drake's still alive, but it is going to go over to the Stormwolves. And Aether winning out in that fight, they're probably all right with this.
Still 3k gold lead at 10 minutes. There's no world in which you're sad about that, at the very least for Aether Esports. And you have to imagine they're probably going to look for a priority over this Rift Herald, especially with Goob being as dominant as he is right now in this mid lane, kind of going back and forth in the early game thus far. First item picked up by Vital. It is that Manamune that you were talking about earlier. Very inexpensive, but means that his power spike is going to be delayed.
Yeah, the gold expense.
Not
the gold. Oh my goodness.
Actually diving in here to the 2v3. Bishan coming down, but there's the teleport from Tony Lil to enter this fight. Hero's Entrance will take Curry toward the backside of the fight, and he's able to get away too. Bishan just eats Uber alive. And despite it being a 3v4, Aether come out on top.
That's so crucial for Aether as well, because like we were talking about Goop, he does not have teleport. He brought Ghost to this party, so he's just going to stick around in that top lane and reap all the rewards of the Maokai leaving. He gets to crash 2 giant waves, eats another one under that turret, and gets some more turret plate gold to attest to his gold advantage already. Comes to Trundle as well. Handholder's still here.
Got some low health members for Aether Esports though. It would be pretty ballsy if they tried to jump into this one. Wind can still deal a good bit of damage. He's got that sheen. Won't spike as early or as hard as this Blade of the Ruined King Ashe, but gotta put a little bit of respect on his name.
Caliber is going to be able to sustain this as well. Let's get hit. Yeah, he's got
Curry
the
goes
Blade
forward.
King. Just healed all of that back up here. Curry not so lucky.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you play the Galio support,
Yeah.
right? You accept that fact.
Yeah, you can't buy Blade of the King on support unless you're. No, there's really you can do that on here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a support where you should be doing that. I am a little bit surprised that Uber's actually come up toward the top lane. I thought with the low health bars and how long Curry and Caliburn stuck around that maybe he would look for a repeat gank, but it's actually B. Sean looking to come on in, and Curry's going around the side to try and set this gank up. Wind is going to deny him that pretty easily with one landed Q though. So no play on the bot side for now.
Yeah, Uber going up to that top side to dissuade a little bit from going forward on this turret, because of course it is taken very, very low from the previous play, and does not want to make sure that Tony Lil can just get killed easily. Might happen anyway though.
The upper hand goes forward. Tony Lil is pretty tanky, even though the Darius messes him up. It should be nasty. Oh, barely. Goob actually gets out of that one. The Nature's Grasp nearly locking him up under tower. He's going to take the much worse end of that trade, but at least he gets the ult out of Tony Lil.
And Goop actually kind of flubbing his Qs yet again, cannot find the heal mark. Of course, he did get the ultimate out of Tony Lil, so not just going to get that kill for free. They continue just farming up a storm here on this Darius. Does not really have any big item power spikes either, so you can respect him not wanting to go full commit on that, as he's wiggling in and out of that brush to make sure that the wave can freeze. Really nice.
And I got a question for you, right? Because we came into this game, we all knew Tony Lil was not going to have a fun time, right? Gonna have to play weak side, gonna be down CS, gonna look to die as little as possible. The question is, considering how Tony Lil will scale into these team fights as a tank, okay, oh no, I'm gonna have to hold that thought because Bichon's coming around the back. He throws up that pillar. Uber's already used his dash. He's not gonna get away, but he will use his ultimate to try and evade Vital in his own jungle. Just auto attacks to finish that one off though. So kill on the board for Aether again. 3v3 being committed to. Curry goes down pretty early, and there's a charge in from Tony, locking up Vital not once, but twice with the help of Handholder. No kill though there, so just a 1-for-1 for now.
And he's gonna surprisingly end in a 1-for-1. It seemed like it could be something more, but not quite gonna find any more lethal hits. Everyone flashing away from Wake's orbs. Bichon now on a ward, killing this red buff, but meanwhile in the top lane, Goop finally does knock down that top lane turret. Only getting 4 plays for it, does not get the 5th one, but he is still going to get that all the same with all the turret gold, doubling the CS as well. And Ripstone started out, I don't think anyone's going to contest this.
You say that, but Vital's walking up right now. At the very least, he's going to face check towards it. Bichon's here.
Oh!
The jungler's actually not there. Tony Lil has to go on forward. Redemption coming through. Tony Lil very low. Will throw out the Nature's Grasp right before he dies. The Rift resets. Handholder, he's going to have to flash over the wall if he wants to get away. Uber trying to make up the deficit, running down onto Caliburn, but he's going to be able to hide under that mid lane tower. Not ideal for the Storm Wolves, to say the least.
Yeah, they juggle the aggro a little bit too much, and the Rift Herald reset right at 1,000 HP. Not quite what they were looking for right there, and they do not get the objective that they came for, and they even lose their top laner in the mix, so pretty rough stuff. Of course, Vital does have his package available, I believe. I guess it's kind of hard to see on that skin. Does he have it or not?
I don't believe so. I don't think he has the package with him right now.
It was just a weird camera angle or something.
I think he might have used it earlier, actually, but regardless, it's still Aether Esports with the priority over this Infernal Drake. And Ocean early, Infernal early. That means we don't have the most, or the powerful most two souls for this game. Vital just blows up Uber, despite the fact it was the jungler of Stormwolves who engaged for that.
That's a lot of damage. That is more burst than I thought imaginable for a one-item Corki. But of course he does have the Sheen as well. So
Sheen and the Phage.
Oh yeah. He's got those items. So maybe I should have expected this, but still rather insane that he was able to just take Uber down 100-0 in no time at all. Very impressive stuff.
I do want to double back a little bit. Win, don't you dare get caught right now. Okay, good. I'm going to double back a little. No, not Goob's fighting. Okay, well, Goob's, this is just going to be hopefully a bit of a trade. Tony Lill's still pretty tanky. He will get caught by that apprehend. All those hemorrhage stacks are on. Tony Lill's getting low. The dunk is available, but Goob doesn't even need it. He just slaps Tony Lill down. And this is a perfect opportunity to double back to the story. Darn these teams and their constant fighting. We knew that in the early game, Stormwolves were probably going to be behind, right? But isn't a 7K gold lead at 17 minutes just too far behind?
I think it is, actually, because you gotta also take into account that there is a Corki on the side of Aether who is scaling up faster. Oh well.
No
He's out of
chances
there.
There. Recall immediately. Uber sees the pillar, sees the Darius, and says, "Yep, I'm out. Thank you all. I will see you next week."
After the Corki kill, he's not taking his chances anymore. He's gonna ult out of there at full HP.
Yeah.
Just better safe than sorry.
I would have. If I was in his position and I had his reaction timing, I would have absolutely. Now, knowing me, I probably would have just died instantly and not even thought to use my ultimate, but he's a little bit better than me. Win, taking a pretty decent trade, and Handholders here going to throw the depth charge down. Dividend's is going to heal up Caliburn for a while. And he gets a magic shield too, but he's not going to be able to live. But the rest of his team is going to come clean that one up. 2K onto the Corki. Vital picking up both bot laners from Stormwolves, and we're still at that 7K gold lead.
Caliburn just
Esports.
Oh my!
Have his ult. He already used it. One more auto is gonna be enough. Flash committed. There's the missile. Oh boy, Smacks. Oh boy.
That is pretty rough. I don't think Uber's gonna catch a break this whole game. It feels so bad because his early game was really nice. He had so many successful ganks, but now at this point he just cannot catch a break at all. Everyone's just in his jungle, killing him over and over. He has to ult away at full HP, and then when they go for him again, he doesn't even have it available anymore. It's just a sad, sad life for Uber. But yeah, this is going to be another turret dropped in the bot lane. Another 1,000 gold going over to Aether. Goop, he's building tanky as well. He's not going for the damage at all. It looks like he's going to go for a Spirit Visage, so it's going to be even more difficult to take him down. Can't blame him, though, because there's an entire AP lineup here for New England with an Ezreal as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of magic damage coming through, so the Spirit Visage is definitely not a bad call for Goop here. Going a little bit more team play oriented this game than he did on his absurd KD play. And when we're talking about absurd KDs, I got to talk about Vital right now. He's 7-1. He's got 2 items. This is the spike, right? This is where the Corki starts being really, really difficult to deal with in any team fight.
I gotta say, if you're getting your Manamune on Corki finished before the Ezreal in the game, and not even just before 20 minutes, before the Ezreal, then you're definitely doing something right here. And he hasn't done exactly that. Even the Triforce completed. This guy is on a rampage on this Corki, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. He is so far ahead. He's got a 700 gold bounty, and he's even got the lethal tempo, so he's got a scaling rune as well. Lots of damage on this Corki, and he's going to be pushing in another wave to mid lane.
Look at that nasty, look at those nasty chunks he takes out of Wake. One trade and Wake's down to half health already.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And it's going to be the Drake spawning as well as the Mountain Soul this time around. Oh, wind.
The Arcane shifts away, but still gets caught by the stun. He turns around to use his True Shot Barrage, but that just keeps him locked down for Caliburn. And that's the 80 carry 1v1.
I don't know. there wasn't even that many mechanical outplays to really be had. Neither AD had flash. I'm not quite sure what to say about that. It's just out DPSing from Caliburn with the Blade of the Ring King. Very nicely done. And Wind, gonna feel pretty sorry that he went for that one because now he's dead, and the Drake is gonna go over to Aether as well.
Get that first mountain stack, and with Goob building tank, with Bishan on the Trundle, with Curry likely building some resistances. Mountain Drakes are very gold efficient here for Aether Esports, especially in comparison to the Storm Wolves, right? But nothing is going to be more important than that Mountain Soul, if we even get to it. That's 10 minutes away. This game might be over by then.
And if you're Curry here, this is a... Oh, wait. Oh, goodness.
Well, if you're Vital here, you just use the package, jump right in, and assassinate the AD carry, while the rest of your team looks to take an easy fight in the mid lane. Handholder's going to have to pray he gets away. Dredgeline will not allow him to. As the dunk, I believe, came down there from Goop, who now goes under the tower. This is maybe a bit aggressive, but he's still going to be able to dunk onto Tony Little. Pick up the double as his team picks up one more. Four taken in total there by Aether Esports, and now they can look for this Baron.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit doomed here for the Storm Wolves. They might end up losing this Baron here, only at 22 minutes. Vital killed Wind in 2 auto attacks.
Yep.
It's insane.
Package plus 2 autos. That's
unprecedented.
That's rough if you win. There's not much you can do about that. If Flash wasn't up, even with the Arcane Shift, you probably don't get far enough away. That just hurts.
They have to
Aether Esports hurts for them because they're not going to be able to finish this Baron right now, and Storm Wolves are actually trying to aggressively come in to deny them that. As Aether's on low health, Goob's going to be able to blast Cone away, and now Win is going to be under some pressure. Vital's trying to get the same assassination, but he won't be able to do so this time. He'll have to turn around and finish off Tony Little alongside Goob. So the Baron is stalled, but Aether Esports still get the kill.
Crucially for the Storm Wolves, though, they did just get the flash out of Vital. They had to use their 2 teleports, and Tony had to die for it, but that very well could be worth it here because they have a lot of burst. They've got the Syndra ultimate that's still going to be dealing quite a bit of damage, as Vital only has the Merc Treads for magic resistance. So that very well could be the difference between Vital dying and living. We're going to have to find out, though, as Goob is on the hunt.
Oh. Wake is here to help Uber, though. If this 1v1 takes too long, Goob is going to have some trouble. There's the recall to deny the slam, but Goob just doubles back for it. Now he's just going to run 1v2.
Oh,
the pull! The anti-synergy, the stun won't fly in, but he doesn't even need it. Goob dunks on all of them for the triple kill. And Aether Esports, I don't even know if they need the Baron to end the game.
I didn't even know that happened, but I like how dunking enemies on Darius fears your own minions. I didn't even know that was a thing. No one is safe from Goob's dunks here.
I mean, I'd be pretty scared.
Oh, yeah.
If I was, like, the minions are tiny, right? They then come up to Darius's, like, knee, right? If something that big just, like, started flying in the air and slamming on the heads of a bunch of other tall giants, like, I'd be pretty terrified.
I feel like if the minion like accidentally brushes Goob's ankle when he's got the 5 rage stack, he's like, "What did you just do?" He drops the dunk on them too. Even the friendly minions are not safe. It's Vital. That's 1.
Oh, come on. Okay. Tony Little is able to at least dissuade Vital away, but he's gonna take the blue buff regardless. No one can come and contest him for that. I'm surprised that Aether Esports haven't taken this Baron yet. They've got Ashe and Corki. Their Baron take is pretty nasty, especially compared to that of Storm Wolves. They're finally going to start it up. Caliburn walks over. Vital's still on the other side of the map, though, and he doesn't have TP.
Yeah, he's not, and is dropping quite low with the jungler rapidly approaching, so this could be something. I don't know if Uber can get there in time, though. Oh, he's here.
Walks over the wall, but it still goes to Aether. Recall will keep Uber alive, so he won't get punished for that attempted steal. But that was pretty close.
I think I saw 19 on the Baron health bar. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's what it looked like to me.
That is a little bit closer than I imagine Aether would have liked. But Bishan does still get it in the end, so nothing lost, I guess. My goodness.
And even if they had gotten that Baron, I don't know if that's the turning point. We're sitting at, what is that? What does that goal be? Is that 15K, 16K? Handhold is dead too. Goob is legendary now. He hasn't died yet this game. So he heard what we were saying about him last game. The one death unacceptable. He's gonna go undefeated this time around. There's another dump on to Tony Little. He's just taking every single kill. It's kind of rude, honestly. But Aether Esports, they're not going to have trouble ending this one.
They definitely are not. This is going to be the clean 2-0 for Aether. This one finished much quicker than the previous. And there goes down the Nexus, 28-6, maybe. Oh my goodness, 29-6.
29
there it
to
is.
6. And Aether Esports are able to secure themselves the first seed out of our Saturday group as we head into playoff. Kudos to them. GG's to both of our teams. And if you're Stormwolves, now you're just waiting for the results of all the other games to see if you squeaked into playoffs or not.
Yeah, very, very impressive showing here for Aether. What a way to bring up their momentum going into the playoffs as well. We really love to see it on their side with the substitute in the top lane as well. He absolutely just popped off in both games.
Dude was nasty, dude.
Double-digit kills on both champions. Ridiculous.
His KD across the two games is something like 12 or 13. What was he in game one? 14 and 2?
I think it was 14 and 2, yeah.
We're gonna take a minute here because this match finished up pretty quick. So we got the time here, Smacks. I'm gonna take a minute. I'm gonna look at that match history once again. Hold on. Can I look at it? Is it not on here?
I think you might have to go back in the Twitch VOD to see it.
I don't know if League of Graphs shows the custom games. It doesn't appear to.
You can look at the Battlefy if you've got that up. But yeah, in any case, it was just a slaughtering
Either
here
way.
for Goob. Yeah.
Ridiculously dominant, right? Dude is a monster.
He absolutely is. They realistically have two great top laners that they can sub in and out for the playoffs. So this is definitely a team to watch out for.
He went 14, 2, and 9.
Yeah, so that's let's do some, let's crush the numbers
I'll do
here.
the KDA math. You keep talking.
Yeah, so it's not even just Goob, though. Vital popped off in this game as well. So much damage on this Corki, and Bishan right there for all those objectives. They only lost one of them in this game. I believe they lost one in the previous as well. So a combined 2 neutral objectives lost in both games. Curry, of course, on this Galio performed phenomenally well, and Caliburn got his revenge on Wind in the AD carry 1v1 in the top lane as well. Really nice stuff.
Goob had an 18.0 KDA across this match.
Sounds about right.
What a monster. Congrats to Aether Esports. Once again, they're going to get that first seed going into the playoffs at the Sugar Free League. But from myself, Pulsable, and from Smacks, my wonderful colocaster, I believe we're just about done here for the night.
We might be looking at an interview if you are interested in that.
Sure, let's do it.
Let me.
Can we get Aether Esports up here?
So yeah, paging Fallen. If you are listening in the chat, you can feel free to drag us into that call. But yeah, we should be able to get in there if he is there. Us as the casters cannot join on our own accord. So, we'll have to see. Maybe I can DM him about it.
Maybe, yeah. Do that real quick. And I do want to take this moment. We talked up Aether Esports a lot, but I feel like there were some highlights for Storm Wolves. So while Smacks deals with that, I'm gonna sing an ode to.
I killed some people. I did the thing. Top lane. Bam.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, there we
been
go.
moved.
Never mind.
We've been
Perfect.
relocated to the Aether Esports call. Hello, gentlemen. I hope you're ready for the interview because you've got it.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Goob difference, I guess.
Good difference indeed. You guys didn't hear, that was an 18.0 KDA across both games for the top laner.
Did you do it for game 1?
True. But I think the statistic we want to really talk about here was the massive difference in Pink Ward's bot from game 1 to game 2. He went from 0 to 1.
Ooh.
And
Oh, dang.
honestly, I've never been more proud.
Oh goodness.
We gave him one piece of feedback, and
Well,
he changed his path.
I'm
To be fair,
so
that
proud of
did
you,
help him
Caliburn. But yeah, that was a smashing performance here. You guys just locked in first seed out of the Saturday conference at 4-1. Yeah, this is quite a way to do it. You guys, of course, were already locked into playoffs beforehand. So, was this a match that you guys were doing like a ton of prepping just to confirm first, or was this kind of just let Goob do whatever he wants and we'll just coast and say that we got in the playoffs?
Well, our top laner works in healthcare, so they're screwing with the schedule, Papi Chulo, and but don't worry, we have the Goob, and if you let him play his champs, he will win you the game. That's pretty much the strategy.
Yeah. I would definitely say that those are his champs. The Kled and the Darius. I remember we were talking about it in the draft when they blind picked Maokai. I was like, oh
Yep.
no.
We were like, they better flex that support because if it's going top lane, the game's already over.
We were talking about that too in the draft. Maybe they'd big brain it and put it in the support role. Ended up going to the top lane, and Goob, for the second game in a row, just ran rampant up there.
Yes, that is definitely what I would say here. But yeah, for the rest of you guys here, making it into the playoffs, we've heard enough from Curry. How are the rest of you guys feeling going into the playoffs and seeing what opponents you guys have waiting for you there?
I just be chilling.
Pretty much same.
Have you guys taken any time to look at some of your competition from the other side, or have you mostly been just focusing on your own group thus far?
Define focusing on your own group, because it's all memes here.
Okay,
I wish we could take it seriously.
That's as good of an answer as I need to know. That answers the have you looked at the other group question, so there we go.
We know a couple of their names, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's
I know the other first siege jungler drops. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, true. And what's his name?
Doctor.
Doctor.
Sure.
I played against him when he was on Akuma. His pike's nasty.
It definitely is. Do you have the champion pool ready for it when you?
I have a champion Ocean.
Play against them. Champion Ocean, of course.
Champion Ocean, my ass. You got Puddle, buddy.
Oh.
This is our comms, by the way. Just literally us bashing each other the entire time.
Yeah, each other, just me.
If you ban Curry's thresh, he loses lane. Confirmed.
Whoa! Alright,
I mean,
you're really bragging about playing Corki.
You smashed on
Listen,
the Galio there, so.
I didn't say I was not having fun. I mean, I had fun pressing Q on waves. It sounds like a you problem, all right?
You had fun dunking on the enemy AD carry when you just packaged over the wall and two-shot him.
You actually auto-attacked him 2 times and he died.
Yeah,
I don't think that's fair.
He's outplayed.
He's gets gameplay, bro.
This guy plays Snooker, you know.
Mid gap. Sometimes you just get technologied.
I guess so. Now we'll bring it back to you, Curry. Was the Valorant game that you won before the match the thing that decided whether or not you'd win this one as well?
So here's the thing, and let me explain it, Kevin. You keep your mouth cool.
No. Let me explain this. You've spoken enough already. So,
I think I hit the 20 death power spike.
So he was the bottom of the rank for Valorant. Not only that, we started getting scuffed by the enemy team. We were getting murdered because there was one person who just kept killing us, and then it ended up being a 2v5, and we were still
3 other players AFK'd.
Yeah, and then like Parker would just be chilling. Sorry, Curry would just be chilling somewhere in the corner and just get fucking no scoped and just murdered every time.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I was in a different call talking like draft or whatever, and I just look back at my other monitor and see myself.
Can't play FPSs. It's okay, Parker.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But it went to literally was it 12-12 on literally match point at the end, and it was a 2v5. And we were like, guys, if we lose this is over. Yeah. We won.
If we lost, I actually just wasn't gonna play the series.
All right, I'm glad you got your spirits higher for that with the Valorant game, of course. Yeah, it definitely showed. Of course, you came out kicking on the Galio in the game 2, especially. I saw you were going for a Negatron cloak. Were you gonna get that the Abyssal mask with it? That's what I would have done.
No, Gargoyles is the most OP support item, so
yeah, that makes sense.
I only like
lame.
Redemption because of like the double semi-global, but
Redemption's really nice on Galio.
Gargoyles is OP.
I would have gone all the way and gone for Abyssal Mask for me.
Yeah, I know you. You're the Zach support advocate.
Yep, I am guilty as charged.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, congratulations on the win, guys. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give to the chat before we end the stream?
Shout out to all my friends that are watching. Papi Chulo, I'm sure everybody here at Aether is. Sucks that he didn't hear, but he actually put in the most legwork in terms of like prepping for the game because he's not here. So, but yeah, beyond that, thanks Goob for solo carrying us. It was Goob and 4 wards.
Let's go, Goob Gap.
Goob Gap.
Can we get a hashtag Goob Gap in the chat, please?
The Goobster.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for the end of you guys. Congratulations on the win. Looking forward to seeing you in playoffs as always. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that from myself and Paul. Thanks for the interview. We're going to hop back into the caster booth, though.
GG's.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. This is the final stream of the regular season here for the Sugar Free League. So we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and everything throughout the weeks. Been a very fun ride, and that's not the last we'll see of Aether. I am 100% certain about that. But yeah, we've got some plugs here for myself and Paul Sabal on the screen right now. If you guys want to support us personally further, be sure to check those links out. But yeah, you got any final words here, Paul?
Well, make sure you guys check out the Sugar Free League. If this is your first time tuning in and watching this, the Discord link and the Twitter links are both down below. You just scroll below on Twitch and you'll find both of those, because playoffs is around the corner here, Smacks. We'll get to see Aether and the rest of the Saturday group take it to the Friday group in that playoff format. I can't wait to see how these teams perform.
I can't either. So yeah, with that, we're going to be signing off. Be sure to tune in next time for the playoffs of... I'm not sure who's going to be playing first. You guys will see it in the schedule whenever that gets posted in the Discord channel. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Smacks and Paulsable on the cast, and we'll see you all next time.